So just to say thank you very much, and I've sent you all the details beforehand, but this is a summary. So there are a lot of cracking and gaps on the outside. So even before entering the property, I could see there's a massive risk. It's the end of a terrace. It was bomb damaged, and the buttresses and rendering, and water is clearly getting in through the gaps and cracks in the render, and clearly the wrong type of paint's been used. If you're going onto an impermeable surface like a render, you want to have impermeable paint, otherwise you can end up just hiding gaps and cracks. And I gave you the three options of EWI, that's external wall insulation, replacing the render, or just filling in the gaps and cracks. There's obviously a cost implication to each one of those. On the outside, you'll see that damp patch there is an indication of hygroscopic salts that would come from horses or burning of fossil fuels in the past. They are often mistaken for rising damp. Internally, you've got a brown stain, and that brown stain is always because water has passed through building material. Now, it can come from any source, but in this case, it's clearly from outside. It's from penetrating damp through the crack render. You'll see that it's only going up to that line, and that is because that's where the damp proofing has gone to. So the damp proofing is merely hiding the damp. It's not dealing with it, and it's just pushing it somewhere else. This is on the inside by the stairs, the entrance. And then again, we're looking on the outside. I wasn't able to get close up to it because there was no access, but I could tell some of the bricks are exposed to water. As a general rule, bricks exposed to water at the top of the building are less of an issue because obviously you're getting the accumulated effects of water running down a wall that creates much more dampness internally. So you've got additional issues. You've got the bathroom extractor fan wasn't working. It was switched off, but then it wasn't working anyway. And I would put in a continuous flow bathroom extractor fan, particularly with the rental property and particularly a ground floor property. So it's one that constantly goes. You don't have an extractor fan in the kitchen, and again, I would just have one going in out through the wall there. Very simple, very easy. Trouble is that tenants don't necessarily use it, but if you're using data loggers, you can monitor internal humidity. So there was an issue with water going along that brick and the what would have been the party wall, the top of the party wall, the ridge there. You've got issues with internal penetrating damp, water getting in. I think there's a combination of the gutter was blocked. I unblocked it during the survey, so that should function, but you appear to have a bit of a gap there. The paint will act a little bit like the render, so painted bricks are not great either. And you've got this section of missing guttering at the top right. I don't see that it's causing internal damp, but there's a risk. So you've got hygrometers around, and they're Govee ones. And I don't particularly recommend Govee for lots of different reasons. I did download it. At some stage, I'll try and update the data loggers so that you can see it on there. But at the moment, it doesn't work. So have a listen to other website, other reports, but you'll see what I do with data loggers. You can use Wi-Fi ones. The trouble with Govee is that the heading in the CSV file is different, and the displays and it's every minute or every half an hour, 10 minutes, maybe 1 minute, 10 minutes, half an hour. I can't remember exactly. But it's a different time sequence to most data loggers. But I will update it so that in the winter you can use it. But this time of year, it's less important. It's also the property's been vacant. And anyway, we know you've got a damp issue from penetrating damp. And there's clearly going to be a risk of excess vapor because you've got mould. That's an indication of excess vapor. And you've got no extractor fans. So I would also consider getting yourself a hygrometer that shows the dew point like this one does, and make sure that the tenants know that they always have to keep the internal dew point below the outside temperature. Otherwise, you run a risk of mould and condensation. Very simple rule. Everyone should follow it. And with an extractor fan and or dehumidifier. So I just ran around the rest of the property. There clearly other issues. So there's a leak in the bathroom. Oh, sorry. There may have been a leak in the bathroom, but you got condensation in the bathroom. You can see that green pipe is from corrosion, and that can only come from condensation. You got Ross in the bathroom, and you got an area of condensation at the back of the kitchen. You got Ross in the kitchen underneath where it would have been the fridge. Problem with fridges, especially on cold outside walls and in humid environments, you get condensation forming within the fridge, and it drips down at the back, and it causes this sort of dampness. So no major issues, but you will need to deal with the penetrating damp as we discussed. Thank you very much.